Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain The Bad Batch. This movie tells the story of a woman sent to a fenced-off wasteland where undesirables are exiled. Will she survive in the craziest prison on Earth? Let's find out in The Bad Batch. The Bad Batch begins by showing a woman named Arlen who is marked with a tattoo on her neck that reads BB5040. Arlen is then exiled to the Bad Batch, a barren desert region outside Texas, where society is deemed unwanted. Like criminals, they are forced to fend for themselves. The Bad Batch is a prison with an open system, where there is a sign stating that the Bad Batch is outside the United States area, so that the laws and citizenship of the United States no longer apply there. Arlen found a leaflet that read "Find the dream, find the comfort" when entering the area. After walking for hours, Arlen was relaxing in a broken car, then looked in the rearview mirror and saw a golf cart speeding towards her. Immediately, she ran away as fast as she could. Unfortunately, she can be easily caught by the two women who are driving the golf cart, which immediately knocks her out and takes her somewhere. Arlen wakes up and finds herself in chains. Realizing that the hostage had regained consciousness, a woman then injects an anesthetic into Arlen's body, then cuts off her right arm and leg to cook and serve as a meal. Arlen was captured by a group of prisoners who survived in the arid desert by carrying out cannibalism. Usually the group is targeting new prisoners like Arlen. Despite having lost her right arm and leg, Arlen still tried to escape from that terrible place. Arlen manages to trick the woman into untying her chains and kills her with a crowbar. After that, she hid and observed the situation at the base camp of the cannibal group. When it felt safe enough, she left the place by crawling on a skateboard. After crawling for a long time in the hot sun and being dehydrated from lack of fluids, Arlen was finally rescued in the desert by a man who carried her by hoisting her in a stroller. The man was willing to travel tens of kilometers to bring Arlen to a place called the Comfort, as stated on the leaflet Arlen found at the beginning of the film. The Comfort guards immediately greeted Arlen's arrival, while the man who helped her then just left. 5 months later, Arlen's condition is better now that she is now a casual worker and has enough income to buy prosthetic legs as well as a place to stay in Comfort. Every day, she works by helping the residents there. Comfort is more like a settlement where many prisoners become citizens there, who carry out buying and selling transactions in a special currency that only applies in Comfort. The scene then switches and shows a burly and muscular man who turns out to be the leader of a group of cannibals who hold Arlen. The man was nicknamed Miami Man. Even though he is fierce and doesn't think twice about slaughtering other prisoners, Miami Man has a soft side that he only shows for his daughters. Not only that, Miami Man turned out to be quite talented in drawing sketches, which he made a hobby in his spare time. One sunny day, Arlen, who now has a gun she bought with her wages, decides to practice shooting in the desert area around Comfort. On the other hand, Miami Man's daughter is getting ready to go with one of the female prisoners to the garbage dump, which is quite close to the Comfort area, by riding a golf cart. Unexpectedly, Arlen, who was also in the garbage dump, saw the arrival of the golf cart from a distance. Because the golf cart reminded her of a group of cannibals who had cut off her arms and legs, she killed the female prisoner with her gun and took Miami Man's daughter. Arlen then brought the little girl back to Comfort, and unbeknownst to her, the man who helped her was not far away and observed her through binoculars. Arlen treated the little girl well, even buying her a rabbit because she seemed interested in the animal. On the other hand, Miami Man, who was waiting for his daughter's return, began to worry and assumed that something had happened to his daughter. Without lingering, he immediately rode a motorcycle and followed to the garbage dump. Arriving there, Miami Man only found his men lying dead in an abandoned golf cart. There was no sign of his daughter anywhere. He then met the man who helped Arlen, who was scavenging the garbage in the place. He asked the man about the whereabouts of a little girl while showing him a sketch of his daughter. The man turns out to be mute and he asks Miami Man to draw a sketch of him, in exchange for information about the little girl's whereabouts using sign language. It didn't take long for Miami Man to draw a sketch portrait of the mute man. After getting the reward, the mute man then informed his daughter's whereabouts by showing the words "Find Comfort." Meanwhile, Arlen, who has established a close relationship with Miami Man's daughter, then invites the little girl to take a walk to enjoy the atmosphere of Comfort at night. The night was more lively than usual because the leader of Comfort, a man who went by the nickname The Dream, was having a party. The Dream is a charismatic man and is respected by all Comfort residents because he managed to build the settlement without regulations and special currency. Arlen, who hasn't had fun for a long time, finally decides to join the party with the other Comfort residents and takes hallucinogenic pills offered by the Dream's men. In the middle of the party, Arlen didn't realize that the little girl had disappeared from her sight. The little girl turned out to be looking for the whereabouts of her rabbit who had run away near the dream's house. The little girl unexpectedly met the dream, who immediately invited her into his big house. On the other hand, Arlen, who began to hallucinate due to the effects of the drug, wanders the desert and sleeps under the starry night sky. The next day, Arlen wakes up to find her prosthetic leg stolen. It turned out that Miami man who took her leg immediately asked Arlen his daughter's whereabouts. Even though Arlen said she didn't know where his daughter was, the man still threatened to kill her if she couldn't find his daughter in Comfort alive. Just as Arlen and Miami man are about to embark on a journey to Comfort, they meet another cannibal man who wants to make barter deals with Miami man. The cannibal man offers Miami man a gasoline conductor in exchange for Arlen's body. Casually, Miami man agreed to the transaction. However, when the man was about to take Arlen, Miami man then killed the cannibal man, took his motorbike and a full conductor of gasoline, and returned to continue the journey to Comfort with Arlen. Arlen and Miami man grow closer on their journey to Comfort. The man even protects Arlen from a sandstorm and reveals that he was exiled to the Bad Batch because he was an illegal immigrant from Cuba since the age of 13. When Arlen asks for the batch on Miami man's neck, the woman grabs his knife instead and tries to threaten him. But Miami man did not budge with Arlen's threat. However, suddenly, another man shoots Miami man in the chest and immediately takes Arlen away by stealing the motorbike that Miami man is driving. Although Arlen was a little reluctant to return to Comfort, she had no other choice. Arriving at Comfort, Arlen learns that the man who shot Miami man is prisoner number 5884, which means that, in just a few months, the Bad Batch's exiled prisoners have grown to more than 800 people. Meanwhile, in the barren desert, the mute man is surveying his surroundings and finds Miami man lying helpless. In the barren desert area and the cruelty of humans who have the heart to eat other humans, the mute man still shows sincerity and kindness, where he always takes care of the injured and helpless people selflessly. Patiently, the mute man nursed the frail Miami man and tried to treat his wounds. At Comfort, Arlen continues to search for Miami man's daughter and accidentally sees the little girl leaving the dream's house with a young woman who is heavily pregnant. A few days later, Miami man, who has fully recovered, decides to return to continue his journey to find his daughter. Not to forget, he also thanked the mute man for taking care of him all this time. On the other hand, Arlen visits the dream's mansion, which turns out to be escorted by women who are the dream's wives. Unlike the other residents of Comfort, the dream lives prosperously in a large house with luxurious facilities. Miami man's daughter also seemed to feel at home there because she could live comfortably and was very pampered by the man. The dream then explains that the economy at Comfort is run on drugs made by his wives, and that Comfort is free of dirt because of the plumbing he provides to Comfort's residents. After Arlen said that she agreed to join as the dream's wife, the man then ordered his wives to clean and prepare Arlen. In fact, Arlen doesn't really want to be the dream's wife and only intends to take Miami man's daughter away from the mansion. Arlen had secretly hid her gun in her prosthetic leg, then took one of the dream's heavily pregnant wives. It turned out that the dream was a quite understanding man and let Arlen take the little girl away with a golf cart so they wouldn't have to walk in the hot sun. It wasn't long before they finally met Miami man, who seemed so happy to finally see his daughter again. The little girl also looks happy because she can reunite with her father again. Arlen implies that she would rather live in a barren desert than live in Comfort. Miami man tries to stop her because he thinks Arlen can't survive in the harsh desert, but Miami man didn't kick the woman out either, implying that Arlen could join the group. The film ends by showing Miami man's daughter whining about eating spaghetti, as she is used to having spaghetti in the dream mansion. However, because the three of them were in the middle of the desert, and there was nothing there, Miami man took his daughter's pet rabbit, and then the three of them relaxed by the fire while eating it. Miami man caressed the back of his teary-eyed daughter at the loss of her beloved bunny. Then he and Arlen looked at each other and smiled.